Hello students, right now we'll start a very fundamental topic, okay, that is your classification of elements, okay. Topic classification of elements. Classification of elements. So before go through the details about the classification of element, let us discuss few historical tradition or historical background about this classification of elements. Lots of scientists have suggested their own ideas, but always at that particular moment, always there must be some competition between the scientists regarding that field, that classification field, okay. So few important historical information need to provide you right now. First one, that is so our heading will be like this: history of classification. So first one, the scientist, that is Lavoisier. Lavoisier's classification. According to him, at that particular moment, all the known elements, he divided all the known elements into two groups, okay. So one group, these are metals, and another group, these are non-metals. In his time, all the known elements he divided into two groups. One are metal and another category, that is non-metal. Okay. So if some elements having properties of metal, like say a hard, brittle, shining nature, okay, more electropositive character, hardness, so these are metals. And if some elements having properties like softness and low melting and boiling point and highly more electronegative, non-conductors, okay, so these are regarded as your non-metals. So he basically classified two metallic and non-metallic categories. But later the discovery of non-metals, whose properties lies between these metals and non-metals, okay, there is no classification for metalloids. So that's why this was rejected. So let us write down. He divided all the known elements into two groups, that is, in one group these are metals and non-metals, okay, and this classification was rejected. This classification was rejected after the discovery of metalloids. Is that clear? Next classification, that is, next one is called your so next classification, that is your given by Dauvernier's triads. Dovernier's triads. So what, according to him, he actually considered the atomic mass. Okay, he considered atomic mass. According to him, he arranged the elements in a group of three. Group of three means he collectively considered three elements. Again, he considered atomic mass. So, okay, let me write down it first, then I will tell you. He arranged the elements in a group of three such that in such a way that the atomic mass of middle element becomes equal to the approximate average of atomic masses of the terminal elements. So actually what he did, he considered three elements, let's say A, B, C. This is called triads. A, B, C, these are called triads. So that the atomic mass of this middle one, let's say the atomic mass of X, that is X, B, Y and C, Z. Okay, so what his idea was like this: the atomic mass of B, that is Y, that will be equal to X plus atomic mass of A plus atomic mass of C, that is Z, divided by 2. Y is equal to X plus Z by 2. His idea was like this. For example, one triad, in the sense three elements, that's why he called it triad. Okay, so three elements I need to represent over here. Let's say lithium, sodium, potassium. So its atomic weight 7, sodium 23, potassium 39. Here you just see the atomic mass of sodium, that will be taken as the average of these terminal elements, lithium and potassium, that will be 7 plus 39 upon 2, that will be equal to, or approximately, it does not mean that it will be exactly, that will be 23. Exactly here almost it is equal to 23. Like that of, if I consider chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay, this idea was given by him. So chlorine 35.5, bromine 80 and iodine, that is 127. So you take the average of terminal 2, that will be 35.5 plus 127 upon 2, that will be equal to, I think this will be 162.5 upon 2, that will be almost equal to 81.25. So almost it is equal to that of atomic, very close to that of bromine. Okay, again another triad, that was calcium, strontium and barium. Let me mention their atomic weight: calcium 40 and here strontium, that is 88, and barium, that will be here 137. So you just take the average, that will be 137 plus 40 divided by 2, that will be very close to 88.5, that is what? Strontium. So his idea was like this. But you know, it's very difficult to classify the elements on this basis, because it was very limited for him. Okay, very limited triads he got, and day by day elements being discovered year by year. So this format, this form of a classification, that is in the form of a triad, it's very limited. He also got very limited triads. That's why this was rejected. Okay. So I can write its drawbacks. Its drawbacks, that is, it could form, its drawbacks, it could form very limited triads. Very limited triads. So that's why this process of classification was rejected. Okay. Next classification we discuss over here, that is, next history of classification was given by Newland's law of octaves. Newland's law of octaves. So Newland's law of octaves, this Newland was very fond of music, Okay, so there are 8 musical scales. After 7, again it starts like this. You just see sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. Again you just see sa. So the idea was like this: sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the next 8th scale again almost similar to that of first one. So he put his idea of classification upon this, like this. So instead of this sa, re, ga, ma, pa, if he all the known elements in his time, he just arranged with increasing order of their atomic weights. Okay. So what he got actually, so after arranging according to their atomic weights, the 7th element, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 7th element, after 7th element, the next 8 one having similar properties to that of a first one. Okay, that means the similar properties are repeated after a regular interval, that is the 8th element having similar properties to that of a first one. Okay, his idea was like this: if you arrange, for example, if you arrange the elements, that is lithium, beryllium, boron, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Is that clear? And next, that will be sodium, because at that moment your group 18 zero group was not discovered. That's why after fluorine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the next element, that is sodium. So this lithium and sodium both are same properties, active metals, known as alkali metals. So the 8th number element sodium having similar properties to that of what? Lithium. So if you proceed like this: sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. Next, that is lithium, sodium, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and the next one element, that is your potassium. Okay, after potassium, that will be calcium. But here you see, after calcium, this mode of classification failure from after calcium. Okay, so how it is, you just see. So after 8 elements you see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, the next element potassium. Okay, its property is similar to that of lithium and sodium. But after calcium 20, you see this scandium starts having atomic number 21, but this one is a transitional element or d block element, you know, d block element, or this one is a transitional element. And if you again consider, you see again drawbacks, that is here 2 and after 8, next 8, then that is 18. Okay, so according to this format, so 18th element having similar property, but here you see the trend is something different after 18th element. So one of the major drawbacks like this. Again, if I consider that after the discovery of a zero group, if I mention over here, that is fluorine, next that is element that will be neon. So if I consider neon over there, then you see the 8th element will be neon, the zero group element. Okay, so here the property of neon is not similar to that of lithium. This is another drawbacks observed in this classification. Okay, that's why it is rejected. So you just write down it's a idea first. He arranged the elements. Okay, he arranged the elements. Okay, let me vanish this one. He arranged the elements. He arranged the elements in increasing order of their atomic weights, increasing order of their atomic weights, so that the properties of every 8th element becomes similar to that of first element, Okay, next, if you consider its drawbacks, so you can write it gets failed after calcium. Okay, so this is your Newland's law of octaves. So next classification of elements was done by Lothar-Meyer. Okay, Lothar-Meyer's Lothar-Meyer classification. Lothar-Meyer classification, what he has done, his idea was little bit of better. Again, he considered the atomic weight along with atomic volume. Okay, he considered atomic weight as well as atomic volume of all the known elements, Is that clear? So what he plot a graph. Okay, next his idea was like this. He plot a graph between atomic volume and atomic weight. And the curve he had got in that moment, you see the curve was something like this. He got, if you consider over here atomic volume, and here if you consider atomic weight, then he got a curve like this, something like this. Okay, and observation, he has got observation. What he observed, elements having similar properties, similar properties lie at the similar portion of the curve, That means the elements which have similar properties, okay, found to take their position at the equivalent position of this curve. For example, these are the peak positions. These peak positions were taken by your alkali metals. Alkali metals means lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, likewise. Okay, and this base of the peak, these positions were taken by metalloids. Metalloids means you can consider arsenic, antimony, likewise. These are the base positions taken by metalloids. And the descending positions, these are the descending positions. The descending positions were taken by your alkaline earth metals. Alkaline earth metal means beryllium, calcium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, likewise. Okay, and the ascending positions were taken by your halogens, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, likewise. This was his idea. Again, do you think this system of classification exists for a long time? No, it is very difficult to predict the exact position of elements in this curve. Okay, suppose you have mentioned this halogen atom at ascending position. So if this position you are saying ascending position, then what about this position? This position, because elements are discovered day to day. Okay, so what can you say about rest of positions? So it's very complicated system to predict or mention to classify the elements by considering the position of this curve. Okay, it's very difficult. That's why it was also rejected in that particular moment. Okay, so you can write down its drawbacks like this. Drawbacks, Lothar-Meyer classification, that is, it is very difficult to memorize, to predict the exact position of the elements on the curve. So that's why this system of classification was rejected at that particular time. So I can mention over here this one, the peak of the curve. Let me write down over here, a peak of the curve, peak that for alkali metals. Again, base of the peak, base then for metalloids. Descending curves, these are for alkaline metals, alkaline earth metals, alkaline earth metals. And ascending order, ascending curve for halogens, that clear? So now we will discuss. So next, finally, the most accepted classification you can say at that particular moment, that has been done by your Mendeleev. Okay, so Mendeleev's periodic law, Mendeleev's classification. So his law was like this, that is called Mendeleev's periodic law. At that moment they only considered the atomic mass of respective elements. Okay, he also considered atomic mass. Okay, the physical and chemical properties of elements are the periodic function of their atomic number. That means he arranged the elements with increasing order of atomic mass. He considered atomic mass and arranged the elements with increasing order of their atomic masses. So what he has got, the similar properties get repeated after a regular interval of time. Okay, so I can write over here that is the properties of the elements get repeated after a certain value of atomic mass. Is that clear? So he considered again atomic mass. So let us write down its characteristics. What are the important characteristics of his classification? Most acceptable classification was done by Mendeleev at that particular moment. Okay. So now let us write down its characteristics. Characteristics of Mendeleev's classification. Okay, characteristics of Mendeleev's periodic table. Characteristics of Mendeleev's periodic table. So what he has did first, he divided he divided all the known elements Mendeleev's periodic table was divided into 7 horizontal rows, these are known as, these are periods, and 8 vertical columns known as, groups. These are called groups. Okay, so after he divided 7 horizontal rows called periods and 8 vertical columns, these are known as groups. So after that he also increased one for the 9 vertical columns, another extra group that has been done by him for after the discovery of zero group elements in order to place the noble gases. Okay, so another group was added, so overall that will be 9 vertical columns. So later he added one more group after the discovery of noble gases, or you can say zero group elements. Clear? So this is called the modified Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, next he again divided each group into 2 subgroups depending upon the properties, the similar behavior of elements. What he has did, he divides each group into 2 subgroups, subgroups. That means suppose a group is like this and he divides this group into 2 subgroups. This one is subgroup A and this one is subgroup B. Okay, so depending upon the variety of properties, group A, subgroup A was for representative elements. These are for S and P block elements. Were placed in subgroup A. So in subgroup B, he had placed the elements. These are called transitional elements, or you can say for D block elements. Likewise he classified. Okay, and you can imagine one of the drawback also. What? He divide the 8th group. Okay, he divide the 8th group, that is B, third I group, where he placed 3 elements together, that is iron, cobalt, nickel. These 3 transitional elements he placed together, right? So this type of classification was much more accepted at that moment because the similar properties of elements were placed in proper position according to their properties. The properties of the elements can be studied very easily through these subgroups or groups he has he had done at that particular time. Okay, so next we will discuss about its advantages. Okay, so now the advantages, or you can say merits. Okay, advantages, or you can say merits of Mendeleev's periodic table, MPT. First one, the collective study of elements was made possible. Elements having similar properties were placed in proper position. Okay, elements having similar properties were placed in proper groups so that it becomes easy to compare or predicts the elements easily. Again, the most important thing was Mendeleev, unless the discovery of any element at that moment, he has left some vacant spaces for the incoming elements, and before the discovery of elements he was able to predict the properties of these elements. Okay, so this was one of the most important benefit, that was he provided the properties of some elements. He provided the properties of some elements which were not discovered at that time, and also he had made some vacant spaces for these elements. For example, like Ica aluminum means a vacant space below aluminum was there, that is called Ica aluminum, and the element that he had placed, that was gallium. You see, the properties of gallium is almost similar to that of aluminum. Next again, Ica silicon. Next example, Ica silicon, मतलब सिलिकॉन के नीचे एक वैकेंट स्पेस था. ठीक है, तो उसके बाद जो एलिमेंट डिस्कवर हुआ ना, उसका नाम था जर्मानियम. कार्बन फैमिली का है, मालूम होगा, जर्मानियम, Ge. इज दैट क्लियर? एक और एग्जाम्पल, इसका नाम था इक्का बोरॉन. तो जो एलिमेंट डिस्कवर हुआ था उसके बाद, दैट वाज स्कैंडियम. Sc. That clear? So these are the merits or advantages of your Mendeleev's periodic table. Again, the demerit was, you see, he had placed collectively iron, nickel, cobalt in a particular place, in a single place, he has placed this iron, nickel and cobalt. That was a demerit. Okay, so after that, the most people are right now using, that is modern periodic table. Okay, that was that was made by your Moseley, the great scientist. Okay, so that long form of periodic table or modern form of periodic table we will discuss in next class. Okay, so today we have discussed all the important historical information of different scientists regarding the classification of elements that I have given to you. Hopefully you got it. Okay, so next class we will discuss your long form periodic table or modern periodic table. Okay, thank you.